Hi, I'm Don Taylor, and this is Linda Van Allen that's with me. And during the past month, we completed about four town hall meetings related to the possibility of a local option sales tax being implemented here in Citrus County. And at this point, we're making this video of the presentation that we will put online through the chamber website. And then you will have the opportunity to take a survey. There'll be other information in there, which I can say now is down below, um, and moving forward with that on the website. So with that, we'll go ahead and get started. I'll go through the presentation just like we gave to the town hall meetings. But then at the end, Linda and I will go through a question and answer session of some of the more common questions we got through all four meetings for your reference and answer those questions. So getting started. Why are we here? And that's how we started out our town hall meetings. The Citrus County Board of County Commissioners is seeking public feedback on the possibility of placing a local option sales tax referendum on the November 2026 ballot. The Citrus County Chamber of Commerce volunteered to facilitate a series of town hall meetings to gather feedback. As facilitators, we are not for or against the initiative. Rather, we want to know what the public thinks about the possibility. And here again, Linda and I are volunteers with the chamber, and you'll notice that nobody is here from the county. Nobody from the county stood up with us at the town hall meetings because the county cannot advocate for the local option sales tax. It has to come from the local residents. So that's why we're gathering information here. So, local option sales tax overview. Up to 1% be levied for local use on top of state sales tax of 6%. No state restriction on duration of the levy, though ballot may contain a sunset provision. 10-year plus sunset typically allows for bonding revenue. And we got a lot of questions during the meetings about what does this bonding revenue do? And one of the examples we use is like buying a house. You purchase a house, you get a loan from the bank, and then you pay it off over time. And that's typically what bonding does from a government standpoint. And Linda has some additional information that she can talk about that right now.
Well, it's a financial agreement, and the county would be required to pay it back. If they do the bonding, the bond company would work out the details with them. People ask, well, what if we fell upon bad times? And the bond company and the county would possibly get an extension at that time, but the county would definitely always have to pay it back. There's no way they could never pay it back.
So that gives you a little background on what the bonding means. But there again, it'd have to be 10 plus years because the bonding company won't bond any of the value less than 10 years. Okay, the referendum, as like any other vote, has to have to receive 50% of the votes in a general election. Like the state sales tax, it would not apply to necessities such as groceries, prescriptions, medical services, and devices. And local sales tax applies to only the first 5,000 of a major purchase. And what that means, for example, if you're buying a car for $40,000 and you'll pay the 1% on the first 5,000, but then 6% on the rest of it. So it'd be 7% on the first 5,000, 6% on the rest of the purchase. Could generate an estimated $25 million per year for the county. And 20 to 25% of that revenue could be paid for by visitors to Citrus County. And Citrus is one of the 67 counties in Florida, and of those 67 counties, Citrus County is the only one in Florida that has never had a local option sales tax. The only other county without a local option sales tax right now is Collier County, and I'll cover that in a minute as to why that is. So both counties right now, Citrus and Collier, are paying are doing the 6% sales tax, and those are the only two counties in Florida that are doing that right now. So let me talk a little bit about Collier County. Collier County implemented 1% local option sales tax in 2019. They achieved 490 million goal 2 years earlier than planned. And here again, on their ballot, that was something they put in there that would be for some period of time, and then it would sunset, or they get $490 million in revenue, and then it would sunset early. So the tax ended in 2023 versus 2025 based on terms of the referendum. Okay, what's a penny worth? Okay, total 1% collections, as I mentioned before, would be approximately $25 million for Citrus County. And that would be shared with the cities. So if you do the breakdown by population, which is the formula that's used on the front end, Citrus County would receive about $23.3 million of the $25 million. Crystal River would receive about $500,000 of the revenue, and Inverness would receive about $1.1 million. And as the sub notations down here, again, it's based on population, but it could be adjusted. If an interlocal agreement is made between the cities and the county, these numbers could shift around a little bit and put more money towards the cities. Okay, revenue can be used for a wide range of infrastructure expenses. Purchasing public safety vehicles like police cruisers, fire engines, those kind of things. Acquiring recreational environmental conservation lands. For example, if you had a landowner that was willing to sell their land to the county, it could be used to that. Engineering, design, and construction of any public facilities. Improving capacity and or condition of Citrus County roads. Okay, this shows unfunded capital projects here in Citrus County. Obviously, one of the big ones that everybody sees in the news and is talked about quite a bit is backlog road maintenance at $300 million that has fallen behind, and the county is trying to play catch up with that. 491 expansion, $250 million. The new judicial complex, $140 million, and a lot of news about this with new animal services facility construction. Right now, the commissioners have authorized $12 million for that expense. We have about $3 million that has been donated from the public for that, but the remainder still has to be funded. And then water and wastewater, $10 million, and new fire station construction, $5 million. And just recently, I saw where about $3.5 million was put in the Florida budget for a new fire station, and hopefully that gets approved by the governor. But here again, any and all of these projects need to have public funding that go with them. And I'll talk about the road maintenance in our Q&A session in a little bit. Okay, timeline. June, as I mentioned, we had our 4 town hall meetings being held to receive community feedback. Here again, we are not for or against, we're just receiving feedback. And then in July, we'll compile the feedback and the recommendations. In August, we'll present feedback to the county commission. And then if the county commission decides that they want to move forward with this initiative, then a ordinance would be put together for their review and approval in the fall that would there again lay out exactly the timeline of what would happen on the ballot as far as the 1% and then what it would be spent on. You know, it could break down a number of percentages, and you'll see that on the information that will be coming below as you go through the survey. And then if that is drafted and put in for approval, then it would go on the ballot November 3rd, 2026, and the voters would approve it at that time. One thing I wanted to bring up too is that the sunset clause, it is all over the place with all the counties that have it. For example, Levy County put it 1% sales tax in place in 1992, and it does not have a sunset. It's still active. The only way it would sunset is if the county commissioner decided they were going to have it sunset, and that brings in about $7 million a year for their revenue. Marion County, for example, they put in a 1% local option sales tax for 4 years, and then after that 4 years was up, they renewed it for another 4 years, And then just last November, they decided to go forward with a 20-year local option sales tax at 1%. And then they also implemented a 0.5% local option sales tax for the school system. And that's one of the provisions that is in the statute, is that a county can ask for a 0.5% sales tax for the school system that would be implemented for no more than 10 years. And Marion County went ahead and did that and put it in for 10 years, and that passed. And so that's just some examples of some variations that could be put in as it stands. So then we go to questions, and what we did in the town hall meetings is we had people write their questions in, and then at the end we also took questions from the floor. So what we put together is the questions that are more commonly given to us to answer. So Linda will have the first question.
Okay, this was at each of the town hall meetings. If a local option sales tax is put in place, how can we be sure that the revenue will be used for the appropriate projects? By statute, the tax initiative revenue can only be used for the specific projects that the commissioners agree to put on the ballot, and also the timeline. So Don was saying about the 4 years or the 10 years in order to get bonding. It will be very specific before the voters vote, and you would be able to read that when you go to the ballot box.
Okay, thanks, Linda. And then the next question is, how do we know if tax initiative money is allocated to a specific project, that existing money budgeted for that project will not be shifted somewhere else? So the capital projects are reviewed annually by the BOCC at public meetings. And additionally, some counties have a citizen review board that meets periodically, also in a public meeting, to review sales tax initiative spending using tax initiative revenue and previously budgeted funds for comprehensive financial review. So this provides transparency, so that maybe every 6 months or whatever the case may be, the citizen committee would have a meeting that would be a public meeting, and they'd review the expenditures of what they approved on the ballot, and also any expenditures that were budgeted prior to having this money available from the local option sales tax, and that would be reviewed at the same time. Linda has the next question.
Okay. Is the sales tax 1 cent or 1%? Adding 1% to the sales tax would mean just that. Instead of 6 cents, the tax on $1 would be 7 cents. So it's 1 penny more if it were to pass.
Okay. Next question that was commonly asked. Tourists use our highways, so shouldn't revenue from the tourist development tax go towards repaving county roads? And the tourist taxes that are in place in the county, and which includes the 5% bed tax, can only be used for tourism. It can't be used for anything else. It's like promoting tourism, or counties that have some kind of public facilities that's used. It can be used for that, but it cannot go towards any road repaving.
Next question. Why can't impact fees be increased to add more revenue for road repaving? Impact fees cannot be used for existing road maintenance, like repaving. Road maintenance impact fees can only be used for road expansion, intersection expansions, and things like that. That money is set aside for specific road expansion causes.
Okay. Next question that we heard quite a bit about. Why can't we increase taxes on new businesses coming into the county to pay for needed projects in the county? And by statute, the tax structure is generally the same for all businesses versus picking and choosing this tax structure for individual businesses. So we can't just have a business come in and say, well, thank you for coming, and now your tax is going to be X, rather than everybody else paying Y. So that's the reason behind that question.
Okay. What tax funding is available to support road resurfacing? The only available revenues for road resurfacing is 40% of the gas tax and the property taxes. Those are the only ones that can be used for resurfacing, repaving of existing roads.
Okay. And just to add on to that, a lot of people think the gas tax can be used for anything dealing with roads, like 100% towards road repaving or something like that. But that's not the case. In fact, only 40% of the gas tax can be used for road repaving. All the other percentage is used for like mowing, putting new lines on roads, signs, and things like that. So only 40% could be used for actual road repaving. So that's the presentation and the Q&A session to go with it. So I hope you will continue on down below and look at the additional Q&A that is in more detail, and then take the survey to give us your feedback on what you think we should present to the commissioners. So we thank you for your time.
Thank you.